What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are concluding the $800 gaming, streaming, and content creation PC that we first went out and hunted down parts for, and secondly built up in a live stream. So with that said, let's quickly get into the summary of this beautiful build. But speaking of building beautiful PCs, I got a word from our video sponsor that'll help you activate Windows on your new build. Let's go! Did you just finish building your brand new gaming PC? You've got Windows installed but not activated, and you don't know where to go or what to do? Well, I've got you covered. Head on over to SCDKey.com. Link in the description below, an online marketplace that specializes in CD keys to activate Windows 10 and even 11, but also many other game titles and etc. What you'll want to do is select to purchase a Windows 10 or 11 product key, click buy now, and apply my promo code during checkout to take advantage of a 25% discount, bringing the total cost to activate your Windows install down under $15. Next, all you got to do is zip on over to your Windows activation screen, click change product key, and just paste in the key you received digitally upon purchase. Check through the next activation menu screens and you are done. Now you have a fully licensed and activated copy of Windows on your new system. That is it, guys, and it is as easy as that. Don't forget to use my promo code, link in the description below, to save you some money on your Windows activation. But for now, back to the video. So all that being said, let's talk about the first part I chose to help nail down some of those objectives, and that being the motherboard. We've got the MSI B450 Tomahawk Max. Given the tight budget, I knew I had to take to a slightly older generation of parts, and given past experience, I knew that the AM4 platform would greatly help in that area. With some diligent digging on Amazon Warehouse, I was able to lock in this motherboard at a purchase price of just $65. Aside from the great price, this motherboard has everything we need. AM4 support for high core count CPUs, USB-C as the client requested, loads of extra cooling and component features, and of course, RGB. Well then, I guess it makes no sense to not talk about the CPU next, considering we just talked about the motherboard. So what we landed on was a 6-core CPU. Although I was trying to shoot for some 8-core CPUs, it just simply wasn't going to happen. The price was just way too high, and I'm glad we landed on the 6-core because that allowed us to really free up some budget in our build. And what we specifically landed on is the Ryzen 5 5600. This CPU, being just one generation behind the latest generation of Ryzen, still makes it a massive contender for performance. Better yet, price to performance. I ended up scooping up this CPU brand new for just under $150. And with 6 cores and 12 threads that boost up to 4.4 gigahertz, I have no doubt that this CPU will be a great starter CPU for this type of build for my client. Next up, we have the RAM. With the requirement of 32 gigabytes, we needed to really pinch to make this work. Fortunately, YOLO came in clutch. These are great RAM kits for the price and definitely a budget option amongst other budget builders. I was able to lock in this kit of 3600 CAS latency 18 for just $85 from Newegg. And I'd have to say the kit looks pretty well sitting inside this build, being a lot of black and whites that we have going on. Very stealth look. I'm pretty much digging it. Moving on to storage, and a part that gave me a bit of breath of fresh air, we have the Team Group MP33. Again, this storage drive coming in clutch for my budget builds. I was able to lock in this drive for just $65. 1 terabyte for that amount is just absurdly good. And you guys know what I'm gonna say, these drives are the GOAT of price to performance. But also this time I added a heatsink over the drive to give that extra little bit of cooling and that extra little of aesthetic pop. I think it looks pretty good in this one. Alrighty guys, so the one main thing that is always gonna be the toughest part about doing budget build PCs, or having any kind of budget in mind at all, is the GPU, and that's where your price is just gonna skyrocket if you're not careful. I wanted to focus on making sure that we had a good encoder for the streaming operation, and we had some good acceleration for doing any type of content creation. So that really left me to one singular manufacturer when it comes to GPUs. We had to go NVIDIA. So with some good part hunting, we landed on an RTX 2060 Super that I paid $265 for on eBay. And it checks all the boxes for everything that we needed to do. Provide that NVENC encoding, provide that CUDA acceleration, and establish a very good baseline performance for basically any title out there. And yes, AMD cards of similar generation can do all those things, but just not quite as well as NVIDIA, at least from those generations. Maybe the new 7000 series AMD cards will really tighten things up in that department. So yes, unfortunately, I had to spend a little bit more, but I got the right card for my client. So powering up this build was also a bit of a relief because I had a leftover power supply that I got from EVGA B-Stock. And again, EVGA B-Stock is always something I recommend to my YouTube audience, but specifically for this one, we have a 750 watt, 80 plus gold, fully modular B-tier power supply. Again, if you're after a budget power supply that is of good, reliable standing, then look no further than EVGA B-Stock. It's something I'm always considering and always recommending. All right, guys, so lastly, we have the case, and we got ourselves a pretty darn nice one for a pretty darn good price. Now, I did manage to get a hair bit lucky on capturing a Cyber Monday deal on this one, but what we have here is the NZXT 510 Elite, which I scooped up from Best Buy for just $100. Normally this case is about $150, so not a major deviation from our budget to begin with, but being that my client was wanting a white case and RGB, this case basically checks all that off. Not only does this case look phenomenal, it performs just as good. I am in love with the look of this build. So guys, there are some extras in this build that are not really encompassing of the $800 build budget, and that is just things I added in because I wanted to give a little extra to my client because he's also a friend. So all in all, the core components should come in right in about $800, but I'm tired of blabbering about this PC and its looks and how it might perform. Let's see how well it really does. Need I say more, guys? This PC is a banger of a gaming PC, and I'd have to say a very well-balanced, powerful machine that'll do basically anything you want it to do. However, if you guys have not seen the process of this PC up until this point, then make sure you check out these videos that I got right here, one being the parts hunt video, and the second one being the stream where we put it all together. Thanks for tuning into this one though, guys. I appreciate your time, and I will catch you in the next one.